Hello and welcome. So today we have lines X and Y are parallel. They're cut by transversals Z and W. So we have two transversals here. Okay, and it says that given that angle J is 140 degrees. So your angle J is down here. Okay, and we're told that angle J is 140 degrees. Okay, we're also told that angle M over here is 128 degrees. And then it says, what is the measure of all other angles? So A all the way up to, N. You're trying to find all of them. Well, let's get into it. First off, pick an angle to start with, right? Either J or M, doesn't matter. I'm just going to pick angle M. Sure. Okay, so you'd say, all right, well, knowing that we have angle M as 128, how does that help us? Well, let's figure out what else is 128. Think about it. If you have angle M, which one looks like it's got to be the same? L. And why is it the same? We call that a vertical angle. They're directly vertical to each other, so that means they must be congruent. They have the same measure. So they're both 128 degrees. All right, now additionally, now we have K and N. We know how to find those because of a particular property, and that is that everything on the same side of a line is 180 degrees. All of those angles must add up to 180. Why? Well, if you have a circle, okay, and no matter which way you cut the circle, right, if you go maybe half is this way, right, you get a diameter, that means that everything on this side of the circle must add up to 180, and everything on this side must also be 180 because an entire circle is 360. Okay, so there you go. Which means that now you know that if you have a line and everything on that same side of the line must add up to 180. But if you already know that angle M, part of that 180 is 128, that means that K is 180 minus 128. Okay, so just do that subtraction, and you end up with 52. Alright, and there you go. That is the angle K. And once you know that's 52, then you can go from there. You'd say, okay, well, that means that if we have K is this, directly vertical of it is angle N, and vertical angles are congruent, so that must also be 52 degrees. So angle N is also 52. Okay, now you know all four of those angles in the corner. Perfect. Where can we go from here? Well, the easiest way, because they are from a different transversal, you can't say anything about those angles on the left. That's not going to be helpful. But we do know something about the angles up here. Because they're from the same transversal, that means that your four vocab words, your vertical, corresponding, alternate interior, and alternate exterior angles, they all apply. Okay, only for the angles formed by that blue line, the blue transversal W. Okay, so you'd say, all right, well, let's look at what we got here. The only angle here out of all of these entire angles formed by the blue transversal W is angle E. Okay, that is the only angle that's actually formed. The rest of them are formed by that transversal there, which means that you say, okay, angle E, is there anything that we know about these bottom four angles that can relate to angle E somehow? Yes, there's two of them. Okay, because they're on the inside of the parallel lines, that would be a alternate interior angle, which means that K is congruent to E. You'll notice that this is the bottom right? N is a corresponding angle to angle E. So either way, angle E is 52 degrees, because you'll notice that K and N are both the same. So that means that E is 52. Okay, so bam, now you found a little bit more information, life's good. Okay, now if we wanted to continue here, there's really not much more we can do. And the reason why is I'd say, okay, well, if we wanted to add up to 180, we don't know angle B or D. That doesn't help us. Okay, and we know that angle E, the 52, is a part of A, but A is larger than E, so we can't say A is 52, which means now you got to use your information down here. which it goes a little bit faster. It's the same way that we found these four angles. We know that angle J and F are vertical angles, so they must be congruent. And we know we can find angle H by just taking the 140 and subtracting it from 180 to get 40 degrees. Because we know that everything on the same side of the line's got to add up to 180. Okay, and then by a vertical angle, angle G is also 40 degrees. Okay, and then from there, now you can do the exact same thing. We'd say, okay, well, angle C is formed by, let me take out some of those highlights. Angle C is formed by the transversal Z, right, this line here, which is the same transversal that forms these ones, which means that now you have an alternate interior or a corresponding angle. Doesn't matter which one, either way you'd get 40 degrees right there. From there, you also know that angle B is 40 degrees because that is a straight vertical angle right there. Well, that means we know both of these are 40. Okay, now we can find the rest of them, where you can say, okay, there's a couple of ways to find A and D. One of the big ones is you say, okay, you'll notice that F and A, they're formed by that same transversal, this line right here, and notice they're both the top left. Those are corresponding angles right there, which means that the 140 of F is also the 140 of A. Okay, and now all that's left is really just going to be angle D. Alright, so let me fill in some of those other ones on the side there. Okay, there we go. Now, there's a couple of ways to do it. The easiest way is to really just look at what you have. Notice that you have a what kind of shape right here? A triangle. Now, there's a particular property of every triangle that you could possibly think of, and that is that every triangle, no matter what triangle you have, is that all angles, interior angles specifically, of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Which means that here, your angle K, your angle G, and your angle D, all of them must add up to 180 degrees. Well, we already know what angle G is. We know that's 40. We already know what K is. We know that's 52. Which means that if we add it to angle D, the only one we don't know, we should be getting 180. Well, 52 plus 40, that's 92. So then we have angle D plus 92 degrees equals 180. Just do that subtraction, and you get, what, 88? Let me double check that. It should be. Oops. Yep. Okay, so subtract 92. And angle D we get as 88. Bam. Now you have found all of your angles. You're good to go. Okay. Thank you so much for watching.